And welcome back here on Sports Talk, our special edition of the LL Football Coaches Show. I'm Chad Landers. Thanks for joining us. We're just about getting started here. Only one team through, and we're ready to stay in Section 2. It'll be the Warwick Warriors. We'll join their head coach in just a minute. But the Warwick Warriors are on the channel this Friday night, and we want to show you the matchup. It'll be Warwick versus Calico. We've started to see this a lot more over the past few years, and we're excited to see it in Week 1 on Friday, 7 o'clock. Join us for that as we'll be out in Denver. And it's now time to bring on the head coach of the Warwick Warriors, Coach Bob Locker, who is heading into his 22nd season. And I have to say, you would have been one of the longest tenured head coaches until these Berks teams showed up, and they've kind of got you outshined. How are you feeling as you head into this 22nd season, Coach?
There's always a mixture of joy, and there's also the workload that goes with it, but we're excited. You got through last week and you had your scrimmage, and now all the games are going to count. So it's a game week preparation, and we're just trying to do our best to make sure our kids are ready for Calico on Friday night.
We'll get into that matchup in just a minute, but I do want to just show you and everyone at home again where Warwick fits into Section 2. I know we've kind of run through it, but as a visual aid, here is where Warwick sits in this new, very tough Section 2, along with Manheim Central and Conestoga Valley, Lebanon. Governor Mifflin, Exeter, and Muhlenberg hop into the section here, Coach Locker. I don't think we've gotten to get your updated feelings on the merger, but it is almost a reality here. How are we feeling as you've finally really gotten this 37-team merger underway?
I think the overall concept has to be quite simply that this was a move that was going to help ensure high school football was going to be played at some schools that were having some difficulties. If we, by design, wish to be shepherds of the game, which we should, then doing it was a good move. Like, again, it allows some schools to be more competitive. Some of the Berks schools, you get stuck in a section with why I'm missing and you're a single A, double A school. That's kind of a tough place for them to be. Now the sections are very equal. Some of them are quite interesting, to say the least. But I think it's going to provide an opportunity for a lot of schools to continue to have football. And I don't want to jump around too much, but you take a look at Section 5, you might have a school that's never won a section title before who's never been great over a number of consecutive years. And those schools have been provided an equal playing ground in terms of enrollment. So I think that's a positive in terms of the overall scheme. Our section, it is what it is, and we're glad to play it, but, the two really good teams are going to be in our section now, and obviously Exeter and Mifflin I'm referring to, and that makes Section 2 was tough enough as it was. It's very, very tough now. So but I think overall it was a good move for football.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier for you head coaches, Manheim Central and Warwick, as these two powerhouses from Berks come in, but you'd almost have to assume that it's really going to create some good competition. And I think we're all excited about that. Also excited, I'm sure your fan base, is for your quarterback this year in Jack Reed, right? He's coming back for another year in the system. How confident are you in that he's been here for a while, he knows kind of how things go, and he's going to be running the show again?
Jack's a outstanding high school quarterback, 5A All-State, and to have him back is a tremendous building block for any team. We're going to take advantage of his skill set. He throws the ball extremely well, and he has improved his decision making from last year to this year. We've put him in some situations where he may run the ball a little bit more as we proceed through the year, but I go back to his decision making is great, and he's an extremely accurate quarterback. To have somebody like that coming back is obviously a real feather in anybody's cap. So, yeah, he's a good place to start.
He threw for about 2,400 yards last year. If he were to get anywhere in the neighborhood of that, he'd be knocking on the door of 5,000 this year, which is a pretty good barometer for anybody in the L, right?
I think Jack's aware of that, putting it out there. Yeah, but one of the things I like about him is we joke about it sometimes, but that's not his focus. His focus, and he said it when we had media day, is to win another section title, to win it with new people in the section. And that should be the goal of everybody on our team. But as an individual, I think reflects who he is and what his priorities indicate. Team first, him second. If we were to win a section title and he didn't get there, it wouldn't bother him at all.
All right, well, he definitely needs weapons to throw to. Last year he had Cooper Eckert and Ryan Fink. Those guys have moved on, just like all of your fantastic receivers do from year to year. Can you fill us in? Who's going to kind of be the receivers and the tight ends and the running backs and all of those skill guys to keep an eye on this year?
I think this year we're going to learn to utilize some of our athletes as both running backs and slot receivers. I'll start with, 2 years ago, Brendan Snyder took a lot of varsity reps as a running back. He missed most of last year. He's doing time as a wideout, a slot, and a running back because he excels at all three of those things. Colin Winters came on late last year, so he's got good hands, so we use him as a running back and a slot receiver. Thomas Jeans was a sophomore tight end last year, who by the end of the year was our starting tight end. So we look for him to have a great year. And then Andrew Christoffel, who got hurt early last year, is up to about 205 pounds, very fast. We've been using him as a tight end, but we're also willing to split him out. Add to that the fact that Trevor Evans, our all-section safety, is now he's playing wide out as well, a great athlete. And then we have some other guys that we think can help down the road. Tanner White, Keldon Larau. Keldon's very, very quick. So we think we have people to step up and fill roles for us. I don't know that we're going to get another Cooper who caught 80 passes last year, but if we could find a way to get 3 or 4 Ryan Finks, I think we'll be okay.
It's over there, you just are starting to find consistently really talented receivers. I mean, it just could go back year after year after year, and you have 1 or 2 each. So I know that really helps your offense, and we'll be looking forward to seeing who that potentially is on Friday. How about up front on the offensive line? Do you have any consistency there? Are there any concerns there? How are you feeling?
Ethan Zipko, Cody Miller, and Detter are all back as starters last year, so that's a good place to start with. Ivan Tejada's playing tackle. He's done a nice job. Cash has done a nice job at guard. We have some other people. So we have a good nucleus. We're trying to get some guys ready, some younger guys. You'd like to go 7, 8 deep as an offense in terms of your line, and we're working that way. We saw some promising things from some young kids in the scrimmage on Saturday. So we think with continued work, we'll be a good offensive line, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, how was your scrimmage? Who did you guys go up against, and how did you feel like your team went?
Carlisle, and they returned their quarterback, their leading rusher, and their leading wideout, and they had some dudes they had some kids that were very, very good football players. I thought we more than held our own. We got moved around a little bit early on. We recovered as the scrimmage went on. Jack had a good day. The thing I liked is when we were done looking at the film, we completed passes on the varsity to 6 different kids. And I think that you want to go back to the thing that Jack does well is, we now have hit the point where he's smart enough that he just takes the open receiver. He understands what the defense is giving him. And that's one of the things that makes him very good. So I thought we moved the ball well as the scrimmage went on offensively. Defensively, I thought we tackled well, and that was a good thing to see. You can do tackling drills with your own team in the summertime and in the week before a scrimmage. You don't really know whether or not you're going to tackle until you actually have to tackle. So I know Coach Smoker, the defense coordinator, was pretty happy with our flow to the ball and our tackling technique on defense.
Yeah, who are some of the guys that will flash on the defensive side this year? There's some names you can share there that maybe we'll even be seeing pop out on Friday.
Sure. You start in the secondary. Tanner White is a returning starter at DB. This will be his 3rd year, actually. Trevor Evans was an all-section safety last year. Brendan Snyder returns. Cody Kirkner took some reps, a lot of varsity reps last year, cornerback, as did Colin Winters. If you go to the linebackers, Aaron Hess is gone. That he's pretty tough to replace. Linebacker of the year. But we like the 2 guys we have in there, Mikkel Tate and Evan Peters right now, seem to be competing for jobs, and they're doing a good job. On the outside, Andrew McClune returns as an outside linebacker, and we like the other outside linebacker right now. Andrew Christoffel has done a really, really good job, so that's solid. And on the defensive line, Harmon McKnight, our returning nose guard, was all section last year. and we will rotate our DNs through like we did last year. Gene Cedeno, Detter, missing somebody off the top of my head, plus Ethan Zipko. Tejada was going to take some reps at DN this year. And so we have a good rotation there. So, quite honestly, we return more people on defense than we do on offense. And I find that to be a great thing because I like to be able to hang our hat on our defense at the beginning of the year. You alluded to the fact that we do a good job of finding wideouts. I have great assistant coaches to work with. They do phenomenal things. So, get a little time to get them up and running in terms of wideouts. If the defense, hey, a couple shutouts would be a great thing. But
well, of course, we've got to give a shout out to Coach Schneider, right? Isn't he one of the guys over there that's doing a great job with those wideouts?
He is the wide receiver coach, and let's figure out how old Locker is. The fact that I coached him in high school. He came back and has coached for us, and it's been a long time.
Hey, the point is there is just a great correlation between the wide receivers excelling over the last half decade and him really doing a nice job, in my opinion. So I think it's nice to have him, and I'm excited to see who will step up as your wide receivers. We're moving on to week 1 here pretty quickly, Coach, and I know we've got the Cocalico matchup to talk about. But first, boy, this wrinkle in your schedule is so unique this year. I know it's only a 1-year thing. Can you fill us in on you guys actually being the true road warriors this year?
Non-political answer, here we go. The stadium is not going to be ready in terms of having everything there. The bleachers wouldn't be there in time for us to host our home games this season. I think the school district's done a great job of trying to figure out ways to provide, some home events. We got the scrimmage at home last week. They're going to put in portable bleachers for us to play Conestoga Valley at home. We were only scheduled to have 4 home games to begin with this year, and Effort was kind enough to trade us home for away for next year. So that negated that one immediately. So then you're left with CV, Manheim Central, and Governor Mifflin. Like I said, CV, we think using portable bleachers will be sufficient capacity. I was not of the opinion that bringing portable bleachers in for Manheim Central was going to be what that game hopefully deserves in terms of atmosphere. So we're going to go to them. Week 10 is kind of a toss-up right now. We're not exactly sure where we're going to be week 10. We got some ideas. We may play at a neutral site, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that the kids, we were talking today, you don't want to make too much out of it. The truth of the matter is you get 10 football games. If it means we got to get off the bus 7 or 8 times at somebody else's field, once you walk on the field, you just got to clear your mind. It's an opportunity to play football. It's not a perfect world, but geez, none of us live in a perfect world. So we're going to make the best of it.
It's a great attitude, and I know it's a bit of an inconvenience this year. We'll see how you guys get through it. And of course, week 10 is way down the line, so things could change. But you do start the first game of the season on the road. It's at Cocalico, and you guys have started to play them a little more over the last few years. How are you feeling about that? And of course, you have to head up to Denver for that game.
They're a fantastic program. They've been fantastic for a long time, so that's a great opening opportunity for us to play a football game. We go there, like I said, that's the first stop on the tour, so that's just how that's going to be. But it's a great opportunity, and I think my kids will be ready.
Now, you played them last year right down to the wire. They get the win over you. You get the win over Manheim. Manheim gets the win over Cocalico. You split the section championship 3 ways. Do you guys have any of those conversations about wanting to get a little bit of payback for that, or is that kind of off in the distance for you?
Nah, payback indicates that, there's something specific about a group. I think the focus is quite clearly that what do we need to do to win another section title? Now, Cocalico is not part of our section, but then you go to what do we need to do to qualify for districts, get a good seed, and maybe make a run at those kind of things. But I think the bottom line is quite simply, it's week 1 against a really, really good football team, and we just got to go out and play football.
Well, you will get to do that here very shortly as Friday is approaching. We're excited for all of the teams, all the coaches, all the players, and the fans obviously getting excited as well. Once again, we will have Warwick and Calico on the channel Friday night, 7 p.m. Week 1 is almost here, and we feel we've got a good one for you coming straight away here on the channel. Coach Locker, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to another great season. I hope you are too, and we appreciate you coming on the program once again.
Thank you for having us. Always an enjoyable evening.
And we will see you Friday night over there in Denver. Have yourself a good night, Coach. And we are moving along here on Sports Talk with our LL Football Coaches show. We hope you will stick around with us as we will be back right after the break.